Hello everyone, it's Mike from Chess Lifestyle, and today we are training 62 minutes because we really have to, because our chess has actually become very bad over the last few days. I guess maybe before we get into training, and also I want to show you a game I played yesterday because it wasn't a over the board game. It was an online classical game, but it was so bad for so many reasons, and we're gonna quickly examine why. But given all the recent Danya situation, I want to just maybe share a couple thoughts at the start as well on this. So basically, since last stream, I guess I'm kind of over the shock, but still, clearly it's still sending shockwaves through the chess community. And what I will say is that I also saw Emil Satovsky's tweet, which was, he wrote a follow-up tweet afterwards to clarify that he didn't mean to target the actual close friends of Danya. He was kind of referring to everyone else in the chess community who didn't say anything. But it's also it's not my place, or let's say your place, to say something about it. And I mean, we did in our capacities, not maybe enough, but the people who really need to do something are the people with actual power. So FIDE themselves, or chess.com, whoever has power to make some kind of impact. I think I'm of course more responsible. And the way Emil's tweet sounds, it just shows he's just taking zero accountability at all, which is to be expected from Emil. Having said that, the FIDE official statement, which I think came out an hour or two ago, it sounds a lot more promising, and it looks like they're really planning on cracking down on Kramnik and making a stance. So I don't know if whoever's written that official statement is just very good with their words, or are they actually going to do something legitimate. But definitely, I mean, Emil is just so bad with his words, and his intentions half the time. It is pretty shocking that he is the best man FIDE can find for the job. I mean, there has to be someone better. But yeah, it's really poor. I'm glad to see Gotham Chess exposing the tweet as well. But at the same time, it's also a very emotionally charged response from Gotham, and it just feels like this is all very chaotic, right? There's not much there's not much light at the end of a tunnel based on how things have gone so far. But who knows? Maybe this is how things start, and eventually there will be some feeling that some positivity has come out of this. But yeah, let's have a look at chat. Welcome Frizz, welcome Faz. Math test tomorrow. Ooh, best of luck for that. Man, I'm so glad I'm not taking exams anymore. Yeah, don't have the ability to handle that kind of stress. So respect the grind for us. I struggle so much on Leechess now compared to chess.com. On chess.com I'm 2250, and Leechess I can barely get over 2000. That's crazy. I've always found chess.com to be a little tougher than Leechess. But yeah, no, it is hard. Blitz in general. I assume you're talking about Blitz. Tuned in hearing the word Emil with no context. Oh boy, yeah. I mean, it'll probably be like that for a while. But yeah, let's get into today's training. And before we do, I want to show. Oh man, wait, can I get rid of this? Let's try that. Yep, let's go. Yeah, I want to quickly show you. Oh, it's not. Okay, it's the wrong overlay again. Let me go do this. I just want to quickly show you the game I played yesterday and all of the problems that came with it. It was an online league match for a team I used to manage, but I stepped down as manager because I just couldn't find the time for it, especially given the matches were on Tuesdays, and normally I have the Liverpool Chess Club on Tuesday, but I decided to play in this fixture. And yeah, just very disappointed with my chess, because basically it felt a lot like 2021 Michael, which was basically just playing chess without calculating. And yeah, this is just not acceptable at like a 2000 level, which is why, like, yeah, I'm gonna keep up the Woodpecker grind every single day of my tournament in France, which is starting in 3 days on the 25th. So yeah, busy schedule for me. I haven't even mentioned that my Garganitza course is coming out in 2 days. You know, that's the kind of like busy life we've got these next few weeks. But yeah, stay tuned for the Garganitza course, because I've got like I've scheduled an upload for it, and I think you're gonna like it. I think you'll enjoy it. It was quite a creative venture for me to work on it. Basically, I created a trailer for the course, and I think it's kind of cool. But yeah, let's have a look. So I actually in this game played Caro-Kann, because before the game I had a quick look at my opponent, and I saw that he was playing Fantasy Variation, and I thought this would be a good opportunity to practice one of my lines, which in the Garganitza, which can transpose to this position, right? So after e4, g6, d4, bishop g7, knight c3, c6, bishop e3, d5, f3. And this is actually, I call it in the course, I call this the Naroditsky line, because this is what Danya would play against Hikaru in their countless online blitz and bullet games. And yeah, Danya and Hikaru had lots and lots of battles here. And what I play is basically what Hikaru plays, not what the engine plays. Engine wants queen b3, which is kind of clever because you've got some ideas of pushing e5 and trying to exploit this pin. But there are some lines which are very difficult, like for instance queen b6 and then queen takes b2. This is not like an easy position to play. It's like zeros, but I don't know. I felt like white gets a lot of initiative, and some of the moves are quite counterintuitive in some of the lines when I was investigating. So basically, I recommend what Hikaru most often plays. I mean, he's tried this queen b6 as well. But it's d4, fe4, knight f6. And the idea is that when white develops knight f3, which is by far the most natural move, we've got the move knight g4. And very often players are playing the move bishop g1, and then we hit them with e5. And the point being is that, well, if they take, the idea is that we're going to trade and then take, and then give them an isolated pawn and try and grind this position out. And if they play h3, we can take on d4. That's the whole point. And this position, I think, is very good for us. I think it's like minus 0.5 or something. Yeah. So basically, yeah, and okay, this line is, of course, is still complicated, but we have an objective advantage. I like it. So in this position, white can either also go bishop f4, bishop g5, and bishop f4 was what was played in the game. Bishop g5, you can go h6 here, and the point is on bishop h4, you've got knight e3. And then you are forking these pieces, you get the bishop pair, and this is, very pleasant game for black. So in the game, bishop f4 was played, and I remembered the theory is e5. This is all in my course. This is all in my Garganitza course, by the way. So I didn't even mean for this to be a promo for it, but I mean, I'm just showing that this is what I play. And after d5, queen d1, rook d1, after knight d7, the move here is e6, which my opponent didn't play. And I didn't really know what to do after that. But all I remember from the course, I believe after bishop c4, was that we go knight e5 to defend the pawn. Yeah, this is what engine says. And yeah, this is just a complicated position. I mean, we're both left with an isolated pawn. But I would think like bishop b3 feels like a very natural move to keep the bishop on this diagonal and developed. But then after this trade, and we put the knight on e5, the knight is actually very strong. And we've got the open f-file to pressure this backwards pawn. And yeah, engine even gives black a slight advantage here, which is why it looks like, bishop e2 is the smarter way to handle this. Because then, if we get this capture, Yeah, interesting that actually pawn takes is correct because on bishop takes is e5. Yeah, this is beyond my knowledge. Kind of makes sense. But yeah, on g takes now the pawn is defended, right? So it's gonna be less easy to pressure it. And wow, looks like e5 is actually needed in this position. So I should probably brush up on this line a bit more and just understand these nuances. But okay, at least I knew the basics, right? And my opponent played bishop c4, which means that I can now take the pawn and not have to ruin my structure. Although, okay, we saw that it wasn't the end of the world having the structure. And I took, and when they took back, this is the first inaccuracy of mine. And I think this is kind of like I think sometimes when I'm not in form or I'm not training, like I hadn't done Woodpecker for several days. I hadn't done, my coach Roger has been very, very busy recently, so I haven't received any calculation exercises. So basically just haven't done any calculation exercises for a week, probably. And 1 week is all it takes for my rustiness and just ability to think just goes down the drain, right? So it's so important that you keep up like frequent work on it. I don't know, it could be a lot of factors. Maybe it's also the fact that I haven't done any exercise in weeks because like I broke my finger not too long ago and then I stopped playing basketball. And that was basically my only form of exercise. I don't know. So lots of factors, but basically this decision to play knight takes e5, it's a very intuitive move. Just, knight blockades pawn, happy days, hit the bishop. You just play this in a heartbeat. But at the end of the day, from a strategical perspective, we are playing against the isolated pawn. What is the deal with isolated pawn? We want to trade as many minor pieces as we can and keep the rooks on the board. So bishop takes. And this forces the trade because the bishop cannot retreat because h2 is hanging. So this gets the knight onto e5, gets the same tempo, but crucially we have traded another minor piece, which is a very useful objective in this grind to win the position. And how do I develop after bishop e3? Oh, beautiful. King e7, so that we prepare bishop e6 next. Yeah, this is the kind of move that this is what a class player would find. And if I'm actually thinking, then I can find this move. But it's just like, just playing automatically and not having spent enough time thinking of chess in the past week, I then make these mistakes, right? So bishop e5, I'm basically taking over after bishop e5. So yeah, good to be reminded of this important difference. Drops back bishop b3. I decided castle, and I thought I just have to be better here. But then I had a really long think here. Like I spent 10 minutes of my time, which also shows my rustiness, right? I'm also not in form if I'm spending 10 minutes on a move in a 45-minute game. I mean, this is you can't. But I actually didn't see a move here, and I'm really surprised to see that there are so many good moves. Yeah, on a5 I was expecting a4, and I didn't see how this was in my favor. But yeah, bishop g4 followed by rook a8 is an interesting one, because then we're preparing this bishop e6, and I wasn't able in my 10 minutes to see this, which of course would be a nice thing to see, because then we keep the advantage of playing against this isolated pawn, which I just couldn't see. So in this position, I thought it was either a toss-up of playing like a move like b6 to develop my bishop, or just accept that, I'm not going to be able to play on this isolated pawn. And I felt like b6 was just too weakening. Okay, big lag. I just felt like c6 was getting weakened. I can't remember my logic, and maybe like the bishop didn't really have too great of a future on either of these squares. So I think bishop g4 and then rook a8 is actually a very clever idea. Yeah, so this would have been nice. And then we got this trade. My opponent went knight a4. I felt like I had to now go b6 in order to prevent this. And it turns out that rook d6 was kind of bad. And I had seen this from afar. I felt like this was the critical move. And it actually took me a while to even spot knight c4. And the problem was, in this position, I had seen an idea, which was if rook takes c6, knight takes b2, knight takes, bishop takes, and then they take on e6 to go up a pawn, then I can play this move bishop d4 check. And the point being is that if king goes to the side, then I've got g5. And there's no in-between checks, and this pin is devastating. So I win a piece, and I am much better. But in this position, that's why I went for knight takes b2, which completely gives up my advantage here. And the problem is that I didn't stop to calculate, right? I didn't consider my candidate moves. I didn't appreciate the fact that this rook is loose. I didn't think, how can I make do of this? I just kind of thought, my knight is kind of loose, so probably there's no time to play g5. Right? These kind of assumptions, probably this, probably that. It's lazy thinking, and this is what costs you games, and this is what makes the difference between a lazy 1900 and a strong player pushing for 2200. Right? Like you get to this position, and then you don't even come close to finding the best move. And it's not hard. I mean, okay, this knight d2 is actually like really smooth, or bishop d4 first, knight d2. But even knight a5 is like so simple. Okay, bishop d4 first, why not? To kick the king in the corner. And then knight d2 is very classy. But knight a5 is just very simple. Because you save the knight, comes with tempo, and you've got the threat of g5. So this just guarantees it. Whereas what I was hoping for was they would take this pawn. But of course, this is not forced, right? So I should be like really trying to maximize my position, and I really fell short. And for the record, this knight d2, the reason why it's even stronger than knight e5 is because this move is coming, and I don't think we've got a way to deal with it because this rook is being hit. I don't think they can do this because if they take, they've got mate. So I think, yeah, they're just completely toast here. I mean, how do they deal with this? Actually, the more I looked at it, I mean, this is literally just winning a piece. Like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I see, it's like even after seeing 92, I didn't really appreciate how simple it is until it's literally on the board. But it shows like kind of like looseness of thought, which comes from lack of calculation training, at least for me. For people where it doesn't come naturally, right? So I messed up this, and I gave him a chance. And obviously, the guy sees that there's pressure. He's not stupid, and plays bishop e3. I then struggle in this position again to find a productive plan. And I thought this e5 was actually very clever because I think the idea was to potentially make use of this square for my bishop. Save the pawn, obviously. And I thought that if he goes rook c7, I can take once, play rook f8. Okay, apparently this just sucks for me. And play rook f7. And the point is that he's not in time to play bishop h6 and check. Because I get this with tempo, and rook c8 I've got king g7. But I did not evaluate that this bishop endgame is lost. That is unbelievable. I mean, I understand that the pawn is kind of bad to be on the dark square. But that's quite alarming that this is actually lost. But yeah, at least I calculated this okay, but what does engine even get? Rook f8 was my other move, actually. I did consider this. Wow, and this is forced? Well, not forced, but somehow I didn't like this. What didn't I like about this? Well, what if like takes and rook e7? Maybe this is what I was afraid of. Wow, rook e2 and just allowing like bishop h6? Does this not look terrifying? Bishop d4, king h1. We can just go pawn grabbing and just say that white doesn't have enough here. Okay, if they go g4. Wow, okay, and we have a very clutch rook a1. But even b5 is working. Is this not going anywhere? That is unbelievable. How can you not think that you're going to get absolutely cooked here? That is crazy. I mean, maybe I think like if this wasn't over a board game and I'm sharp, then maybe I can come to this conclusion that it's actually nothing, but very scary. Yeah, so I don't know. So e5 was bad, I guess. My opponent didn't play it correctly. Yeah, and I was basically just playing like what was the most natural move that doesn't like blunder me stuff. And I think this, like, I was thinking fairly okay for the last several moves. But this was one of those moments where this was so poor. I basically just blitzed out bishop c1. Like, you can see I literally took, like, I don't know, 30 seconds to play bishop c1. And really, I think, in hindsight, I should have played bishop a3 because the point is then on bishop c7, I can actually defend. And I don't have to worry about bishop d6, which hits my rook and still hits the pawn. I played, like, bishop c1, and he went bishop c7. And the thing is, I completely missed that I actually do have rook e7. Because on bishop d6, I actually do have rook e6, and there's no discovered check. Because, actually, I've forgotten. Why is there no discovered check? Oh, I just go king f7. I don't have to take the bishop, right? So I think this is, yeah, this was an issue. I think you should play rook f4 and make the draw. Yeah, and that's the thing as well. I actually think that I didn't see rook f4 as a candidate. I mean, this almost reminds me of my game against you, Peter, like several years ago, where I was just making moves based on vibes and not considering candidate moves and not calculating. I didn't even see rook f4 as a move to take on e4, which has to be seen. I just played this like without considering any candidates. I was just like, oh yeah, this looks good because I will somehow, you know, get some attack. Like that's how vague we're talking, and that's how low my chess can stoop when I'm not actively training my chess. That's how bad it gets. So just played bishop c1, just like that. Plays bishop c7. I'm like, oh, my pawn is attacked. That's not good. Then I thought I could actually get away with this bishop f4 because I thought that I would get enough counterplay. I also didn't think I had any alternatives. And here again, like, I'm just kind of banking that I will be fine. And I completely didn't see the danger for my king here. And he doesn't find the most precise move. Apparently bishop f6 is more precise. But yeah, I didn't think he had any time for that because I was like, oh, I can just win a pawn. But it's like, I don't have time to win a pawn. And now I defended pretty accurately. Rook e7, rook e4, and king h5 was okay. But again, poor tactics here, and I'll give you guys a chance to solve this. White played rook c7, and this actually is fine for me had I played the move g5. I mean, this was my whole idea, right? I was hoping that I'm not going to get mated, actually, you know, activate my king, turn the tables a bit. But I played h6 here. And just absolutely zero danger. Oh yeah, exactly, Peter. Yeah, I forgot to mention about rook f6. Yeah, because if they take on e5, then bishop f4 check actually avoids your rook just getting pinned. So yeah, like so many like small tactics which aren't easy, But it's like I was so far away from seeing them. It's not even like I was close. Let's see who's going to get the answer first. Well, what is the problem with H6? Safsara, I am proud of you. Is this second date with the same girl, or is this like your second ever date with a female human being? And 2000 ECF, that is huge. That is huge. I mean, both are huge. Both are huge, so congrats. Okay, nobody's got the answer yet. Okay, Jan gets the answer. Wild. Rook E7. And I was just like, man, that is a brutal move. I cannot take because of mate. Why do I think it's a girl? That's a very fair point. Okay, and second date with the same female human being. That is a W. It did not end after one date. We'll take that. I'm kind of curious to know if she's a chess player, but probably it's not my place to be prying into your love life, Safsara. So you can share however much or little as you like. Dating lifestyle, I mean, oh man, that reminds me. I think I was like messaging on like the group chat for one of my local teams in Liverpool, and someone brought up the fact that I had a chess channel because not everyone knew, and I think someone else was like send a couple videos, so I sent a couple on the chat, and then Dylan, who like never opens his chat or speaks on his chat, just dropped the Tinder advice chess lifestyle video, and I was just like, oh, you bitch. It's crazy. But I rewatched it. It's actually not bad advice. It's not bad advice. Worst tactical genius is finding Rook E7, so honestly, dating lifestyle, I could probably make better content. I mean, like look at this chess, it's so bad. So okay, like basically, yeah, he probably had a mate, but he didn't want to risk it. I also saw some moves that could go wrong. Yeah, so I fight this on, but I don't think I ever get a chance. Like I really try everything. Like you'll see, actually, the very last trick I try is here. Like I try move my rook back and forth to see like I'm doing nothing, and I just put the rook here just in case he like pushes the pawn. Just in case. But obviously then it's time to go. So what I can say is that from this game, I was not considering candidate moves anywhere near enough, and I also wasn't trying to find moves outside of my brain fog intuition. And these two things can be accounted for because I have not been doing enough Woodpecker method. So we are going to continue with the Woodpecker, and when my tournament starts on the 25th, we are going to be doing Woodpecker every single day. And I actually think that we might have to skip Friday's stream because that's the day that my course gets published, and also the day that I do all my traveling to France. But maybe once I arrive in France and I settle in, I can probably fit in the stream. So you know what? We'll do a Friday stream, whatever. Right. Oh yeah, the Beauty and the Geek. That's a story. I don't know if everyone knows on YouTube. I don't care. I can share that one. Why not? I did get approached by a reality TV show called Beauty and the Geek, which used to be very popular around like 10, 15 years ago. And the premise of the show is that the geeks are on like some desert island with all these like supermodels, and you get paired up, and then it's basically like every episode is like some new challenges, and then the couples get voted off. So it's basically Love Island, but like they purposely make the matchups like absolutely diabolical. And I watched some of the previous seasons after this, and oh my god, some were hilarious. Like I remember. I think it was more of an Australian show, so I was watching like the Australian version, and there was previously a chess player on the show, and there's the funniest clip of him having to give like an oil massage to his partner, and it is the funniest shit I've ever seen. So it is a great show idea. Like I believe the show actually must have happened. You know what? I'll make a note of it to look into it. Because this was like some years ago, so unless it never actually went to air, I don't know. But it was quite a nice idea. I mean, like there was actually a really big prize fund for a couple that ends up getting to the end. So, but I mean, you would literally never escape this part of you. I mean, you'd have an IMDb, and there would be clips on the internet forever of all of your mishaps, and they obviously try and make it so that you look like an absolute idiot. It's such a funny show though. So, but actually, I have to say that one of the best episodes in the show is that the penultimate episode, when there's like down to like a few couples left, the geeks always have like a complete makeover, and oh my god, some of the geeks end up looking hotter than the supermodels. I'm not kidding. Like the supermodels, like they're not like incredible, but like, oh my god, like some of the geeks, after like, restyling and change of clothes and change of facial hair, it was mind-blowing, some of the transformations. It was like literally from like a 4 to a 9. Like it was really, 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 really incredible. So, could have done that, I guess, but low-key glad I didn't. I don't think I'd be where I am now. I don't know where I'd be, but yeah, no, would have been would have been an interesting saga. Bisexual arc, no, sadly not. Sadly, I do not find men sexually attractive. I mean, I can appreciate their attractiveness, but I think there's also an aspect of just like I don't think I really dislike male qualities, like average male qualities. I think it's disgusting, quite frankly, to have to be in a relationship like with a man. Not in a fucking like I hate like I'm not against gays or gay marriage or anything like this. What I mean is, like, for me personally, I feel like the average man, their qualities would be absolutely awful to have to date. And I feel like it's like a lot of like even straight girls are just like, oh my god, it's so awful to have to be straight because I have to date men, Like I am an absolute man hater. Sue me. Anyway, I'm getting distracted from the cause. So let's get to this Woodpecker. Okay, let me clarify then. What are average male qualities? I feel like, first of all, cleanliness. Right? The average male, like just the basic level of hygiene. I mean, you know how it's a fact that like when men shower, it is a completely different process to when women shower. And it's like, I won't even go into the details, but it's like, or like, let's say like cleaning, or, okay, this is a disgusting story, but in my first year of uni, I had a friend who had a flatmate in uni, and they had like a shared room, and they would also have like a shared like sink in their room because all the uni flats had a sink. The flatmate would cough up phlegm, spit it into the sink, and just leave it. That is disgusting. And not a single girl on the planet is going to do that, right? Or I can talk about when I was in like onsens in Japan, like basically these bathhouses where you get fully naked with a bunch of dudes and you enjoy the baths, and it's a vibe, like the different temperatures of water and different outside onsen, inside on. It's really fun. It's really fun. But oh my god, some of the men there, absolutely disgusting. Like there was one old guy. I'm not going to go into all of the stories, but while we're on the topic of phlegm, I'll bring it up. There was one old guy who literally would cough up phlegm and spit it on the ground in the onsen where everyone's walking around barefoot. And then he would like, try and wipe the phlegm away. And I was seeing this from afar, right? So I was like, okay, at least he's like trying to push it into like some drains, right? But in fact, there were no drains, like where he was pushing them. There was like drains sporadically put around. So he was just mixing his phlegm in the fucking puddles on the floor. I actually wanted to die. And then I find out from my friend who's in the female onsen next door to me, oh, she's having a pleasant time. Get to look at tits. Like, she's loving life. I'm just like, how? How can you have to date a guy? Oh my god. Like, this is just one aspect. One aspect that women have to put up with. That I'm not dating a guy. It's not happening. Like, it's not happening. Even if I was sexually attracted to guys, it's not happening. So yeah, I hope that clarifies something. And that's what I mean. I think dating lifestyle could be great fun. So yeah, I wonder, Jan, if that converts you into a straight cis male, but. Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like a lot of men just urinate in their sinks, just for convenience. And the thing is, like, okay, I accuse men, but I'm not much better. Like, I mean, you raise this point, Fres. I mean, I've done it as well. Like, it's like men are just built different, and not in a good way. Which is why, like, I wouldn't want to date myself. It's like, man. Thank you, Java Tao, for a normal question to get us back talking about chess. Appreciate it. Is your Modern Benoni YouTube course a suitable opening against c4 and f4, or are you planning a different course on both? Okay, so first of all, f4, the bird's opening, is very, very, very different to d4. So I would say that when you look for a repertoire against f4, you shouldn't be comparing it to your d4 repertoire. Positions are very different. Simplest solution I can give against f4 is just play knight f6 d5, and then just go h6 g5. Look into it. It's really wild. It's really fun. So play that as a basic setup. I mean, if you really want to know kind of like the ideas against f4, I mean, you can even pretend that you're playing against a Dutch, right? And my c3 Venom course on Chessable covers the Dutch, and you can basically adopt that same setup against the birds. So that's probably what I'd recommend. One of those two. Second of all, against c4, I do not go into how to handle the Reti and English in my Benoni YouTube course. I talk about all of the Benoni declined sidelines. So for instance, what to do against Trompovsky, what to do against Jobava, what to do against London. All of these d4 sidelines. But I don't go into Reti or English. For that, I believe there is some content on my YouTube that does cover that, like some streams from a while back, but I don't know how easy it would be to find. So yeah, hope that answers your question. I think to produce a repertoire against c4 and knight f3, my simplest solution for you right now, based on my content, is again, just study c3 Venom and just play reverse c3 Venom. Just play c6 d5, bishop f5, and play reverse London against English and Reti. It's a little bit different. Some of the lines are a bit more critical, but up to like a 2000 level one line, you'd be more than fine. And you can see how much I'm procrastinating from doing this Woodpecker. I hate doing this, man. I hate doing it, but it has to be done. I don't know how to find a guy that isn't just horny. I feel like you're looking in the wrong places. And probably if you're like just on like, I don't know, freaking Grindr or something, obviously you're just going to find the horniest of men. So maybe just go outside and talk talk to people. But I know, I guess it's not as easy. Like, you know, if the pool is much smaller, I don't know where you find not horny gay men. Probably not easy. Yeah, actually, the more I think about it, yeah, sounds pretty tough. I would date myself honestly, but I'm not gay. That's such an interesting take. I mean, for me, I feel like it's so much more enjoyable when you're dating someone who is quite drastically different to you, but shares similar values. That is the ideal, in my humble opinion. Because then, like, you know, if you're just the same, it's like, what's the point? It's like you've already got yourself. Like, you may as well have something that like complements, right? And like makes things makes things better, you know? Like there are certain aspects of your life that, let's say, aren't going so well or so smoothly, but that other person can raise those aspects because they're naturally more gifted in those aspects. You know what I mean? How do you find guys outside? I mean, just gotta be a sociable dude. Travel. I think travel is a good one. Because travel gets you talking to people that you'd never normally talk to, right? Actually, here in Liverpool, I don't talk to anyone. I just CBA. But like, basically when I travel, it forces me to talk to people because you have to talk to people. Nah, Sapsara is definitely compensating. For sure he knows what Grinder is. Sapsara's on Grinder. Imagine you viewers coming here expecting chess. Yeah, no, it's... I hate doing Woodpecker so much. And it's like, because I haven't gone to the Woodpecker gym for a week, it's like, it's even harder to just get into it. Finding a tactical girlfriend to raise this game in that department. You're not wrong, Peter, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Genuinely, that's how it works. That's how it should be. There we go, the confession from Sapsara. That's what we love to hear. Oh, okay, that's so funny because I was reading the comment, I'm just bad at going out and meeting new people. I'm so sure, I'm just honestly thinking I could study endgames for 4 hours instead. And that's kind of sad but funny. Now, I read that comment thinking it was Jan. And I was like, that is the biggest cap I have ever heard in my life. There is no way Jan has ever thought about studying 4 hours. Like, he's just chatting utter shit. So yeah, makes complete sense that I misread who wrote that. I thought he was just saying it to sound intellectual or something. Like, I was just like, that is the biggest cap of my life. But nah, fair play for us. Yeah, no, I genuinely think that different people have different kind of needs of how much social interaction they want or need, and you know, you can literally go life without interacting with anyone if it doesn't affect you. I don't think that's so controversial. And yeah, for me personally, I mean, like, you know, I did a whole year in Southeast Asia, and okay, I was making friends, you know, I was still streaming here, but it's like, you know, I also had months where I was in places where I literally didn't talk to anyone in person, which is also fine. Like, it's just, you know, there's more things to life than just, I don't know, human interaction. But it's also pretty good as well. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm procrastinating. Yeah, I'm beginning. Okay, fine. Okay, let's do it. Let's do some freaking Gligorich Petrosian. At least we're not on fucking Mikhail Tower. Okay, let's go. Queen, rook, rook, knight. 4 pawns against queen, rook, rook, knight, knight, and 4 pawns. Black is an extra knight. We have 2 incredible pass pawns. What else to note about this position? Their king is quite exposed. Why did they push those pawns? Idiot. Our king is a little bit exposed. No dark squared bishop. Maybe there's some bullshit queen a7. Let's not miss that. Oh, we've also got some x-ray pressure here. So maybe like rook takes g5. The fact that the queen and rook are on this looks kind of potentially tempting. Knight is loose. Queen is not loose. Rook is loose. Strong pawns again. So in this position, we should start with our checks. What checks do we have? We got queen takes f8. We've got rook takes g5. And to be honest, like I really want to stop there and just start calculating. Because first of all, we're already looking at two candidates, which is better than my classical game yesterday, which I didn't consider a single candidate move for the whole freaking game. But let's keep thinking. Do we have any captures? We've got capture here, capture here, capture here, which we've already considered. What about threats? I don't know. Okay, so let's just begin with this rook takes g5. If they were to take back, we just go checkmate. Okay, so rook g5, what can they play? If they go king h8, we take with checkmate. Or eventual checkmate. Rook g5, if they block with the queen, we take it. So king f7 is forced. Do we have a follow-up? Rook takes f6 is very tempting. Any other follow-ups? Oh, I think I see a long mate actually after rook f6. I feel like they have to take, otherwise we will take on f8. We then go queen takes f8. Maybe they can block queen f7, but let's just, for argument's sake, consider if they go to g5. And I was hoping h4, but again, I'm so bad at this. I keep assuming that they're going to take me, in which I can go queen checkmate. But they don't have to take. Once I give h4 check, they can just run. Unless knight here is a mate. Oh my god. So actually that does mate. So wow, okay. So rook g5, pawn... No. Rook g5, king f7, rook f6, king takes, queen check. I actually don't think they can take the rook, which is quite beautiful. Yeah, and actually king g6 was one option, taking on h4 was one option. If king g4, we just go queen f3, king takes is forced, and then queen f4 mate. So, okay, in that position, they have to block queen f7. Now, let me see that again. So rook g5, rook f6, queen, and then block. I mean, I've got rook f5 as the bare minimum. Does that win? Rook f5, king takes queen with check. The king should not go to e5 due to queen e7. And if they just go to g5 or something, at the very least we can go, we can give a check and then pick up the knight. So this is just winning. What was our move? Take. Okay, so they decided to take, which is terrible. Then we just have force mate. Yeah. And also they should mention king g4, right? Because king g4 is still a candidate move. Queen f3, king h4, queen f4 mate. And of course Axel Smith doesn't consider what happens if queen f7. So we'll just have to double check that ourselves. Yeah, rook f5 is the best move. Okay, glad to see it. Yeah. Oh, there's even mate if you go to the g file. Queen f3 is quite a nice find. But as we can see, many moves are winning. To be honest, I should have kept in mind that these pawns are very, very threatening. I kind of forgot when I was evaluating the final position. Okay, glad we got this one correct. What are people saying? Jan's saying doesn't really know where I'm supposed to find the time today. What about the 5 hours you spend scrolling? Like, doom scrolling. Like, you can cut this out, surely. Rook takes g5? Yes, Frizz. Yeah, it is good. Absolutely hate traveling. I always get sick and I get anxious when I'm away from home for more than a few hours. I think you've got to find routine in new locations. So for me, like, it wasn't that big of a deal that I was switching country every month because my routine was exactly the same. I was, doing my tri-weekly streams. I had my chess lessons on the exact same times and days. Like there was routine outside of the physical conditions. So I think once you establish that routine, then you can change the physical conditions. If you change everything, well then of course it's going to be an anxious mess. So you basically have to solidify one thing before changing another. It's the same with like everything. Like let's say learning chess openings. If you try and change your entire repertoire overnight, well obviously that's going to be the most anxiety inducing experience ever. So you change one aspect at a time, right? This is the principle. Damn, Faz is too lazy to calculate. That is not good. We do not like laziness on this channel. I was teaching her to ride a bike yesterday. How old is this girl, Safsara? I cycled a good 10 miles there and then couldn't figure out my way home because my phone was out of charge. Oh, that could have been such a good adventure though if you were both lost together, you know? But never mind. At least you made it back. Can respect. This is also another quality of men, right? Just like allowing their phone to just run out of charge and then having to, you know, struggle finding their way home. That just wouldn't happen if you're a girl. So there are these differences that just, like I couldn't date a man. Not happening. I think people were generally getting the move. Oh, Queen F4 mate straight away. Oh wow, yeah. I didn't pick up on that. The knight actually protects F4. Okay, appreciate that comment, Peter. Hey, you can't count this training as doom scrolling. Do not put me on the same level as doom scrolling. That is unbelievable, Jan. I will not accept that. Get headaches when traveling. From the actual movement. Is that what you mean? Changing my entire repertoire for the last 4 months. I wish your mental health well, Frizz. Okay, glad to hear it, Safsara. For the record, chat, Safsara is also 16, I believe. So, you know, it's not a problem. It's not an issue. Just had to clarify that. Okay, let's do another puzzle. We've managed to procrastinate for like 50 minutes. What a day to be alive. I mean, once the tournament starts, we'll train Woodpecker every day. We'll get in the zone. It's just I had way too much on my plate recently. Like we needed a stream like this, you know, to just to just chill out. Okay, Petrosian against Benko. White to play. Okay, so we've got Queen, Rook, Rook, Bishop, Bishop, Knight against Queen, Rook, Rook, Bishop, Knight, Knight. So we've got Bishop pair. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 against 7. Oh, God. See, it actually hurts my head to think, to use my brain. It's actually crazy. That's why you don't stop your training for a week. It's probably not even been a whole week. Anyway, what's going on? So Black's king is a little bit exposed on c8. White's king is also not the greatest, but there's no dark squared bishop at least. What is the structure? I mean, Black's got 2 attackers on c4. White is defended only once. Rook is a bad blockader on d6. There is a pin. There's also some x-ray pressure back this way. Maybe x-ray pressure along here. Pressure on e5. Pressure potentially on the knight. Any loose pawns or pieces? So I'm glad I'm still remembering to check my loose pawns, which is something we established recently. Not loose. Loose, 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 loose. Bishop is loose. Okay. Loose. So, okay, what checks do we have? We've got no checks. What captures do we have? To be fair, this is an interesting capture due to bishop g3. That actually looks kind of nice. But okay, let's keep thinking. I mean, there is a threat on this pawn as well. We need to be a bit careful. And what about threats in this position? So wait, we've got this capture and this capture, right? No other captures. Okay, threats in this position. Not too sure. Okay, so let's begin with this knight takes c5. Looks really, really promising. Also protects c4, which is a bonus. If the queen were to take, which is not forced to take, but is the most critical, of course. The plan is to play bishop g3. And let's say the queen just goes back to e7. We could probably play here. Although black might be able to counter sack with like taking on here, but then we could take the rook and even come with tempo on the queen. So okay, what if they go like queen e8 or something? Well, then we win it completely. Okay, so I think this is just completely winning, completely utterly winning. I mean, the bishop is supported in case of any recapture and we lose this or something, right? Is winning. Okay, we actually get this. So e5 was my play, because I thought if we take, then we don't get e5 because the queen can take. And I didn't see a follow-up here. So I think we just go e5. Okay, and the point is here, like, we've won a pawn. We can take back the knight either with rook or pawn. But rook looks a lot more natural to me. So let's do it. Yeah. Very nice. What do you mean, what tournament is this? I appreciate that stuff, Sarah, but when the first thing you say about your girlfriend is that she can't ride a bike, it's like, who doesn't know how to ride a bike? Like, that's not, like... I don't know. Maybe I'm completely out of the times. Maybe, you know, the new generation is just, like, all iPad babies. I have no idea. So, yeah, don't flame me. I am just protecting your reputation. That's what I'll say anyway. I don't know where Coventry is coming from. Did someone else mention tournaments? I don't know. Yeah. E5 looks good. Dating a 3-year-old. Yeah, I learned how to ride a bike when I was like probably around that age. Actually, I don't know. 3 years old, is that too early? When do you learn how to ride a bike? It must have been around like 4 or 5, right? Fair, Jan. Yeah, maybe it also comes from a place of privilege, but I also think it's a generational thing as well. I mean, I think like literally everyone, no matter where you are from, like picked up learning how to ride a bike. But yeah. Okay, let's try and squeeze in one more. We've got 2 minutes to go of our training, which we've clearly done 62 minutes of today. Oh man, I also can't wait to be free of the grind. But I know that I have to put in the grind because I'm so heavily invested in chess. But the day where I can actually take a step back and be like, you know what, Michael? You've achieved enough, you've hit your peak. Let's not have to do this. Oh my god, that's going to be so good. Actually, I hate thinking. Actually hate thinking. And the worst part is in most aspects of life, you can just get away on acting intuitively. I live my life way more carelessly than I play my chess. Because life doesn't have an ELO, right? If life had a freaking ELO and it told you how things work, maybe I'd take it a bit more seriously and like be a bit more competitive about it. But it's just because there's no way to gauge how things are. You just do your best. And it's just like, I'm not going to calculate in life because I actually can't be fucked. So it's just better to just like live it intuitively because it comes more naturally and it's just a lot less headspace. But in chess, oh my god, I have to calculate so much. It's actually so awful. It's so awful. And of course, there are some personalities that just calculate naturally and they don't understand the struggle. It's crazy. It's crazy. And the higher up you go, the higher rated you go, the more you are finding these people. Because there are so few people who have the kind of build as I do and are trying to pursue like making gains above 2100 FIDE. It's like it's very few. It's very few. But okay, what to do? Let's go. Queen, rook, rook, bishop, bishop. Queen, rook, rook, knight, knight. Got bishop pair against knight pair. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pawns. They've got 5 pawns, so we're pawn up. Okay. I guess our rook is looking a bit awkward on e5. Queen and king are on the same diagonal. That's the potential weakness for black. Our king is actually looking pretty safe. Although maybe there's some bullshit sacrifices somewhere, but I don't know. I don't really see it. We also have to be careful, like, you know, we don't open up the F-file because this could be some X-ray pressure, right? X-ray over here, X-ray over there, some X-ray here. You know, another thing I want to quickly rant about is I reached a bullet peak yesterday. I reached a rating of 2640, 40 something. And I was going to stop because, like, I was, like, you know, very happy with that. But the game that got me there, I had just beaten a CM who said that he really loves the YouTube channel. So I can't just decline his rematch after, like, hearing that. So we play, and we have, like, a match of, like another, like, 8 games or something. And we're, like, neck and neck. But then I lose the last 3. And I end up, you know, reaching the limit of my Caius rule, which is like, if you get minus 25, you have to stop. And I was so mad, man, because I literally got a new peak, and then now I'm like, I don't know, way below that. All because of this temptation, and it'd been going so well recently. Like my slow grind had been paying off. So. Yeah, you can expect some bullet tonight. Like I'll be itching to play. But I really was on fire. Like I was really strong. Like I think had I not just got caught up like playing fun games with this viewer, like I was probably gonna go a bit higher. But we'll see if today's the day. Maybe I'll just play horribly. Who knows? But okay. And to be honest, I probably will play horribly because I think it's really difficult for people like me to have 2 incredible bullet days in a row. Like, it only comes once in a while, and then it's not coming again for like several days. So I really wasted it. Okay, so what checks do we have? We don't have any checks. What captures do we have? We've got bishop takes e4, which looks bad. We've got rook takes e4, rook takes f5, rook takes c5, rook takes c5. And what threats do we have? I mean, in a normal game, I'd probably just play like Queen E2, um, just to add a bit of protection. I don't know, like just some lame moves. So, do we have any threats in this position? I mean, I don't see any way that we can actually get this in. Maybe like Bishop F1 to try and play for Bishop C4. Really don't know. I guess actually if the knight were to move, no, we don't have that. So we still need a3. So maybe there can be some combination of all of these, right? Maybe we can play like a3 first, kick the knight away, then sack the rook, and if the knight takes, then play this bishop d5. I reckon it's something like this, because we also don't have to worry about like pins, because this comes with check, right? So I think that's probably it. A move like a3. I mean, b3 is protected, right? Looks pretty nice. And I think even though we didn't look into the individual candidate moves there, I mean, just being aware of which captures were on the board, it just means that you're a bit sharper when trying to understand the resulting play. Because again, if these checks and captures aren't coming intuitively to you, then you need to like force yourself to just look at it. I think I'm happy with it. Have I looked at all the candidates for this knight, not just knight c6? Or can we throw in something else, right? They've got no checks themselves. That is something I need to do in my tournament in France. I need to spot every single check. I cannot miss a single check in these games. Or in between moves. So what about, no, that hangs a rook. What about like rook d7 or something? That's actually a very annoying move. Because if I move my queen, then they can potentially come in, right? I actually don't have an answer there. Could it be a move order thing? And then a3, but I really don't think so, because we've already sacked material at that point. It's actually a very, very strong move, which I'm not seeing how we deal with it. Yeah, I mean, if we just go queen e2, there's knight here, so what on earth do we play? I'm always feeling like I need to play something like this, just to cover this knight d3. It's definitely not ideal. All I know is that a3 is not working. Yep, I think I'm gonna have to play bishop f1. Like, I know it's wrong, but I don't see a better move. I also only just saw that this is hanging, but yeah, if I had to move, I think that is the move I have to go for, which obviously is wrong, but oh, it's right? What? Wow, so it's just a quiet move? Okay, that's kind of cool though. That's kind of cool that we got it correct. And this is why you need to actually be really thorough when you play chess. See, like, if this position represented my life, yo, I would play a3 in a heartbeat. Like, I'm not gonna beat around the bush and find this, right? Okay, so what's the point? I don't even see the point. I mean, a3 now. I guess they've still got rook d7, perhaps. But they don't have knight d3 anymore. Ah, Lord knows. Lord knows. Is bishop c4 any good as well? Or is it just a one-move threat? Can the queen just move somewhere and be chilling? I don't know. Found the move, but I don't get it. Don't get it. Another random topic I that just came to mind is it actually makes me, all of this. Back on the topic of Danya and Fide's response, it actually makes me feel that Fide is so unstable of an entity and so unpopular that it might not actually be around forever. And given that, maybe this grind for Fide rating and Fide titles might not be so significant. And if that's the case, then maybe there's even more reason to make a push for National Master, because that's like more of like an established title that people can trust. I don't know. A thought that crossed my mind earlier today. I don't know. I'd either play Bishop C4 or like A3 or something and just roll. Bishop C4 feels so keen. It feels unbelievably keen for absolutely no reason. A3 looks like a much wiser move, but now A3 doesn't even make sense because they can just go Knight C6 and like, I can sack, but there's no Bishop C4. I mean, I could take, but then I'm just down material. I don't get this. I don't get that there's a tactic. I could find a good move, but I don't see why there should be a tactic here. Like F3 to try and space the knight and take, but then there's knight takes G3, which I don't like. Are there any more captures that I'm dismissing or forgetting? Are there any more loose pieces? Like, that's not even loose. I really don't know. I really don't know. I mean, maybe A3 is useful so that we can at least return to the open file. But that's just not a tactic, is it? It's not a tactic. Bishop C4, let's actually be concrete. Where does the queen actually go? I mean, Queen G6 was what was worrying me the most, with ideas of like sacking on G3 or something. Is there a follow-up? Not to my understanding. I think I'm going to have to go with A3 because I want to return this rook to the open file. I don't know. C4 is winning. Now, can anyone tell me why it's winning? What are people saying? Also, welcome Ife to the stream. How's it going? Welcome Arjun as well. Good to see you guys here. Yeah, Bishop F1 was right. And Frizz is solid with his bishops. I did not see the idea though. The idea is some Queen D4. What do you mean Queen D4? Queen D4 is not a safe square. But Queen G6. What is wrong with Queen G6? Queen G6 was like my main problem. I was just like, that hasn't helped our situation. I guess maybe you can argue Bishop C4 then A3 is like a better version, but I don't see why not A3 first. Yeah, Queen D4, C takes D4. I'm confused. No one trusts NM? I don't know. I think NM is kind of cool. I kind of rate NM. Because NM is kind of like, you know, I'm a good player. I've optimized my ability as a club player, but I'm not absolutely sweating it. No one needs to know, but I've absolutely sweated it. You know, people can just be like, oh yeah, you know, he's a chess coach. He like, he does content creation, and he's also managed to do NM. Like, Like, what a guy, right? They don't have to know that I've like put blood and sweat and tears into it, you know? So it can kind of be a bit more nonchalant about it. But like if you actually go for like a FIDE title, then you know, I feel like it seems more grindy, you know? You can't just play it off as cool. Not that I wouldn't take a FIDE title, you know, if I managed to get that, like I'm obviously taking it. That's a very fair point, Jan, though. Even if there was a successor organization to FIDE, they wouldn't make everyone re-earn their title. That's a very good point. Yeah. I guess the new organization would have to begin with an F. What can a new organization be called? Maybe something to do with freedom. I like the sound of that. Free from FIDE. Oh, okay, we got A3 has to be right from Faz. So glad to hear that someone also went for my move. Queen G6, Rook E6. Oh boy. I didn't even see Rook E6. Yeah, and that is awful, Jan, if you actually whipped out Stockfish to try and solve this. Like, that's laziness on another level. Rook E6, Knight of 6. I guess so, but then like black is kind of like getting kicked back, getting their pieces pinned. I mean, it doesn't necessarily look winning, but it definitely looks decent. And of course it just stops there. Here are some sample lines. Queen G6, Rook E6, Knight F6, and Queen D6. Black has lost all active counterplay while white's pieces have gained in strength. Fair enough. There are a lot of threats going on in the position with the exposed, opened up bishop as well. Queen D7, Bishop E6. Yeah, this is not easy to see. Not easy to see at all. What is that? Queen F6. Oh, we want a queen. That does make sense. Yeah, no, Queen F6 is just... Who would play Queen F6? I guess Toulouche would play Queen F6. But yeah, let's have a look at my A3 move, both on move 1 and also within the variation. Because I think A3 works except for Rook D7. I think that's the trick. Queen G6, H5. Interesting. Can you not just take that pawn? I have to have a look in a sec. But A3? Yeah, look, completely winning move except for Rook D7. And of course, Axel Smith. Axel Smith, what do the initials stand for? Ass. Axel Smith, absolute ass, does not consider A3 in his analysis, which should be considered. Like it should be mentioned. Because it's a very natural move to exploit the tactical themes in a position. But yeah, Rook D7 has to be spotted. So we found an in-between move. Let's go. We found an opponent's resource. We take that. Okay, so... yeah, so okay. A3 was bad because of Rook D7. Bishop F1 was what I went for, just being like, this looks good without seeing any tactics. There weren't really any tactics, concretely. It just was an overwhelming position. And in this position, what was played? I'm already forgetting what black played here. Oh, they just played like King H8, right? And then it was Bishop C4 anyway. And A3? Okay, A3 is still good. And it's actually due to this Rook D3 again, but... Rook D7. But I didn't see the problem. Because this... we're keeping tabs on. I was thinking Queen E1. Ah, Queen takes B3. Okay. And to be fair, Knight D3 does look a little annoying. So maybe based on this, I should have given more strength to this Bishop C4. Am I... What? What is this? Okay, engine is just bugging out because it definitely said that black was better for a sec. Yeah, and Queen G6 is Rook E6. Yeah. Oh, the ICF, International Chess Federation. Wait, what does ICCF stand for? Isn't that the... What was the old... oh, that was just ICC, Internet Chess Club. ICF, Inter Chess Federation. Jan, would you give me permission to make a tweet about it? I'll just, spitball some ideas out there for people to use. I feel like I could... It'll probably be a bit crack, but... Yeah, I think someone needs to start a new one, and then everyone just switches. So there are some lines that I need to check, right? Yeah, ICC is Internet Chess Club. Yeah, ICF. I mean, let's actually look it up. ICF, International Chess Federation. Let's see if it's a thing. Oh, FIDE, maybe they tried to claim it. Let's see if they tried to claim it. Internet. Okay, while it's loading, let's have a quick look at what Jan was writing. I mean, Faz was writing. It's a G4, FG4. Oh, G4 is a candidate move. I did not consider this. I mean, it looked so wrong, but Queen F2, King H1, Queen B2. Yeah, no, I am not allowing this, but yeah, it looks like a crazy line. CB4 and Rook C7. I mean, that is indeed winning, but this is the case of long variation, wrong variation. Yeah, like Rook D7 in between move. Queen takes H4, better than going for the piece. Yeah, interesting line, but I know for a fact, just for my own chess, that I cannot calculate that cleanly enough, so I would not even go there. Like, there's just too much risk. Like, I would say like 90% of the time, it wouldn't work out. Even if it actually was with perfect play, I would not be able to find the perfect play. But yeah, very interesting idea. You can use that name if you intend to start your own worldwide chess organization. I mean, I can't, but maybe I can use my platform to suggest it to people who can. Who should I tag in this tweet? Who would be the responsible people to tag? What about Peter Heine Nielsen? Because he's obviously like been trying to lead FIDE. I think he's a bit of a nutcase as well, though. That's the problem. I think he's like almost as bad as like FIDE, but just in the opposite direction. But I don't know if he just sounds mad because he's constantly debating FIDE. Like I don't really know. Oh, Nakamura. Nakamura hands. No. Okay. Nakamura, maybe. Magnus, but the thing is, Magnus is affiliated with chess.com. But maybe still they can do a better job and just completely give up FIDE. But I don't trust chess.com at all. Chess.com is so bad as well. Jack's Arc? Who the hell is Jack's Arc? But yeah, no, everyone's just so untrustworthy. Who at the top can be trusted to do a good job? The trustworthy people are the nice people who are quiet and aren't outspoken enough to like start such an initiative. The only people who probably would have the balls to do it would be someone like Nielsen. But then, not Nielsen, Neiman. I mean, sorry. But like obviously no one's gonna follow suit if Neiman does it. Magnus doesn't care enough. That's the problem. Who would actually lead the ICF? What if it's like a US... well, I don't know if the St. Louis can be trusted, but what if it's like a central St. Louis initiative? Is St. Louis reliable enough? I'll write some tweet. Fuck it. I'll do it, and we'll see what happens. And if the ICF becomes a thing, Jan, you'll go down in the history books as the one who suggested it. But obviously, I think that the chances of my tweet doing anything is like 0.0000001%. But who knows? Who knows? I think on that note, guys, I'm gonna call it a day. Pretty diabolical stream in terms of training, but it was a good laugh. So good laughs are good for our chess as well. So thanks for tuning in, as always. And yeah, hope you got something out of that stream. Okay, see you around, guys. Bye.